Have you ever wondered who the architects of misery truly are and where they live? This question may ignite a spark of curiosity, but brace yourself as we delve into the abyss to unmask these architects, the Irritafolk. Imagine a metropolis, a city of smiles and prosperity, but beneath the glamour hides a sordid reality. The Irritafolk, these are not your everyday troublemakers. They are architects of chaos, creating intricate tapestries of torment for their own twisted satisfaction. They wear success as a gilded shroud, a mask to hide the gnawing abyss within. Each accolade, each envious glance stokes their furnace of discontent. Like vipers in the grass, they coil around the bright lights of others, injecting venom into lives that dare to outshine them 10 to 1. Their ultimate goal? The eradication of your joy and happiness by any means necessary. Their weapon of choice is a vast and venomous arsenal of sick and twisted allies whose entire lives are of no use to anyone but themselves. The sly, backhanded compliment, the calculated rumor, the orchestrated social sabotage, all employed with the precision of a surgeon, carving out misery. They cunningly pit friend against friend, lover against lover, turning trust into a poisoned well. In the wreckage of shattered lives, they bask in the perverse warmth of their own twisted satisfaction. You might ask, why persist in such destructive ways? Why not seek the sunlit uplands of personal growth? The answer is a cocktail of apathy and spite. The effort of self-improvement seems insurmountable, a Herculean task best avoided. Denial is their bread and butter of delight. They wallow in their negativity and misery, finding a perverse satisfaction in dimming the light of others, a sadistic joy in the shared abyss of a fertile mess. The Irritafolk perceive an unfairness in the universe, a belief that others possess something naturally they lack, even in the material realm: superiority, success, happiness. They don't have it and can't even buy it. This perceived imbalance burns deep within them, an ever-present ember of anguish refusing to be extinguished. These Irritafolk are not simple bullies and idiots. Their motivations are a tangled mess of neuroses and unresolved mental baggage. Demonic possession rears a similar fractures. They are the adult versions of those who tripped you in the sandbox, now wielding their negativity as a rusty spork, poking and prodding at the perceived superiority of others. Well, if they think you're better than they are, then it must be true. But don't be fooled by their sincerity lacking polished facades. These puppeteers in the theater of perverness are far from what they appear. Beneath the surface, they are prisoners of their own internal turmoil, a ceaseless storm of discontent that fuels their toxic behavior. Picture a marionette, its every movement dictated by unseen hands. Now imagine those hands bound by the very strings they manipulate. That's the Irritafolk for you. They pull the strings, creating chaos and discontent, yet they're ensnared in the very web they weave. The only way they feel good about you is when they can feel sorry for you, even when there's zero reason to do so, other than the effect of the lies and made-up content they spread like wildfire to all who will give it an ear. Every pull, every tug is a reflection of their own internal misery, a mirror of the chaos that rages within them. Their actions, however cruel and destructive, are not born of pleasure but of pain. This is how they get their daily fix of satisfaction, like most any junkies on the street, a pain so deep, so ingrained, that it has become their identity, their raison d'etre. They are the architects of their own destruction, building towers of torment that ultimately crumble onto themselves and everyone around them. The Irritafolk are not just masters of misery, but victims of their own venom. Each act of manipulation, each poisoned word, each orchestrated act of social sabotage tightens the noose around their own necks. They're trapped, not in a physical prison, but in a gilded cage of their own making. A cage forged from the chains of jealousy, spite, and unfulfilled desires, low internal self-esteem, and self-imposed oppression. Yet, despite their self-inflicted torment, the Irritafolk persist in their destructive ways, spreading their venom and sowing seeds of discontent, leaving behind a trail of victims who vowed their loyalty to receive nothing more than torment and emptiness as their consolation prize. Each act of manipulation tightens the noose around their own necks, trapping them in a gilded cage of their own making. Could these be possessed by the torment of spirits past, whose tattered existence still begs for retribution? But beware! To label them simply self-destructive fools is to underestimate their malignancy. The Irrita folk are not just architects of their own misery, but also of those around them. Their venomous impact seeps into the lives of the unsuspecting, tainting their world with a corrosive negativity that infects, corrodes, and destroys, period. Imagine a drop of ink in a glass of water. At first, it's just a tiny speck, barely noticeable, but slowly it spreads, swirling and twisting until the entire glass is tainted. The clear water now a murky abyss. That is the venom of the Irrita folk, a potent poison that permeates through every interaction, every conversation, every relationship. They are like dementors, sucking out the joy, the hope, the very life out of those around them. Every smile becomes a grimace, every laughter a hollow echo, every joy a fleeting illusion. They tarnish the golden threads of happiness, turning them into rusty chains of despair. And yet, one cannot help but wonder, what drives these individuals? What twisted pleasure do they derive from this destructive path? Is it a desperate cry for attention, a perverse satisfaction in shared misery, or a deep-seated resentment towards the world that they perceive has wronged them? The answer perhaps lies in the murky depths of their poisoned hearts, a labyrinth of twisted thoughts and distorted perceptions. They are living viruses, replicating their misery in the fertile ground of unsuspecting hearts. What drives these creatures of the shadows? Is it, "This is just how we do it," or something so sinister, so tormenting, so perverted no one dare speak of it for fear of being penetrated by it? Please like, share, and subscribe.